what's the TLDR of your spiel? Now I feel like how you felt at the start of this when can you sum up what you felt, or should I just sum up what I felt?
Sum up what you feel first, because I feel very it's very in conflicted about it lah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel even more annoyed now.
Why? Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, okay, Will Smith, it's probably been a traumatic 2 years, but the fact that he said, you never know what
2
someone
years.
is going
It's not
through.
2 years, alright. It's just
When
only
it happened?
earlier this year.
This year.
Earlier this year only.
Correct.
Yeah.
Earlier this year. Oh yeah, earlier this year. So even that one statement he said, you never know what someone is going through. It's in direct reference to himself, lah, right? And maybe people in the audience. But what about Chris? What if something? Yeah. So along the lines of what you said, there was no mention of Chris Rock apart from Trevor Noah said, I love you. I love Chris. He's my friend. You're my friend. Apart from that, Will Smith never said anything. And the same statement he said about you never know what someone is going through. What about Chris? What about he has what about what he has had to go through? So that was one thing, and I don't know, like it just felt like it was still a performance. Because when he's telling the story, he's already very charismatic, right? So he comes in already, there's a round of applause talking about his movie, and it feels like, wait. Are we not gonna you're just gonna go back to normal? And like when he was telling Trevor Noah the story, he would look at the audience and then look at Trevor Noah, and just very performative lah. And it's just so fucking annoying.
So it's $1 million question. Before you come to your conclusion on that, was it Trevor Noah's fault of his poor performance as an interviewer? That's why we are here today, where we are like, we're still not over what Will Smith did.
I wanted to talk about that also because I mean, because even the interviews we've done in the past, we have taken different approaches, right? Even when we got Xia Shui on, or more recently, the two politicians from the PAP, there were comments that, why are we not pushing them in a corner, and why are we not doing this? And I have been thinking about it a lot. Okay, what is our role as an interviewer? Is it about finding out who the person is, and not judging them lah? So when I watch this, I do feel Trevor Noah, the questions he asked was a bit too forgiving lah.
But what if his intention was to, I'm going to focus on Will Smith as a person. I'm not here to extract an apology out of him for Chris Rock, because I think he can do that in his own time. But it's my show, and I decided I want to focus on Will Smith, because the truth is, Will Smith has had many fans like myself who are confused about who this person really is, right? And that's what he wants to focus on. Maybe there was even a mention of, let's not directly reference Chris Rock, because there's there's so much raw emotion there in his private relationship with Chris, that let's try not to talk about it. Maybe there was that discussion beforehand. In that case, would that absolve, in your mind, would it absolve Trevor Noah of the responsibility of like pushing further?
Actually, I mean, I honestly don't know, because even now, right, you ask me, I'm like, was Trevor Noah too forgiving? But then I've also been in the situation where people have said that, we are not pushing people in the corner. Then I'm like, oh shit. It's tricky it's tricky. But the one thing is that Will Smith literally assaulted someone else. Sure, if we bring a politician who is championing for a cause that maybe a lot of people don't disagree with, is that like as clear cut as assaulting someone else lah?
I think one you're saying it's almost a criminal action, right? Versus like someone's a matter of their opinion or the work they do, right?
Yeah, exactly. But like if I were to ask you the same question, like what do you think Trevor Noah was responsible for this? Or because you said right now you are kind of still conflicted, which in some way means you're thinking about it, which in some way means that the interviewer was thought-provoking, like it wasn't binary, right?
Yeah. So in the sense that, I think I do want to see that there's real growth in Will Smith and that there is real, like he really feels bad about what happened and all that. But but like what you said, maybe because what he did is so clearly wrong, and he's so clearly in the wrong, and he so clearly is the one that needs to apologize and all that, right? The fact that the apology hasn't been that clear cut, and that the interviewer didn't talk about it like in such a clear cut way, right? You know, it felt like they were just skirting around the issue that what he did was really fucking bad, right? That's where there's something lacking, And I'm not trying to defend ourselves against what people are criticized about us, because yes, I mean I definitely do feel sometimes, you know, even the way we do interviews, after every interview we think about, okay, well, how could we have done it better and all that, right? But it's not as clear cut when you're talking to someone and trying to understand better, trying to understand how they think, and then also at the same time you also want to try and question a little bit about their thought process behind things, right? So that one there's a little bit of understanding what the feel is in the room, and you know, the where things are at, what certain things you can or can't talk about and all that kind of thing, right? So that one I'm still thinking about it. But in this case, to me it just seems like Will Smith was given a chance again to show that he's grown, that he's learned as a human being, but I felt like he almost doesn't want to have to talk about it, Like he's pushing it aside in some way. And Trevor Noah just sort of it's not good for Will Smith when Trevor Noah doesn't probe further about it, right?
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, like let's say next week I'm getting married, right? If I just halfway I walk up to you and I slap you in the face, right? Then 2 weeks later I meet your family, I meet my family, I'm like, you never know what someone's going through. Everyone asks me, shut the hell up. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell are you talking about? You hit this guy at an event. Because another thing Trevor Noah said is that I think people don't realize that when someone like Will Smith goes to the Oscars, it's almost like just meeting up with friends. Because you know everyone already. You see them at multiple events. To the outside world, it's like, it's a huge gala thing. But to Will Smith, it's like a house party. And you know, you see people get drunk and act up at house parties. So then I'm like, no. I don't think you can use that excuse, right? Because next week,
have you ever slapped anyone at a house party?
That's why. Exactly. And even like next week, right? I'm going to see my friends, my family. You could hypothesize that there might be other instances where, okay, I meet pockets of them together. But if I were to slap someone next week, or if anyone were to slap someone else next week, we'll be like, whoa. What the hell has happened?
So Harish is here giving a preview of what his wedding will be like. There'll be a lot of randomly slapping people, and then after that, just moving on like nothing happened like that.
If 2 weeks after that, during a Yalabat podcast, you hear Terrence say, so how have you been? I'm like, you know what? That night I just lost it. it. But you never know what someone's going through. Walao.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that. So just watching this fella, and I don't know, the crowd, it just feels like nothing happened, and it's almost like he went through a challenging time.
Yeah, like he was the victim.
What about Chris Rock? Yeah, what about Chris Rock?
Yeah. So I mean,
I cannot imagine if Chris Rock watching this. Yeah.
Yeah, if you were Trevor Noah, what would you? How would you have made things better or different?
That's like the question that what you said. We ask ourselves after our own interviews.
Correct.
I think maybe just asking, have you spoken to Chris? Have you heard from him? How do you feel about what you acted? What do you think he went through? And is there something do you plan to reach out? Do you plan to reconcile? Or how are you addressing that huge component of this whole fucking shit show?
Yeah.
And
correct. No, yeah, same. I think the lack of empathy right now is very glaring to me. There's this very let's keep talking about how Will Smith felt about it, about the situation, and how he feels about it. It's a very self-absorbed kind of thing going on right now with Will Smith. And even the previous, I think he did his previous apology video. All of it just felt very self-absorbed, even down to the fact that he was drinking water from a I think his own son's like water bottle company and all that, right? So the whole thing just felt very rehearsed and very self-absorbed. Same for this interview. It just felt very self-absorbed. Okay, fine, you're promoting a movie, talking about it. But when it came to that elephant in the room, again, it was just about your perspective on things as opposed to Chris Rock's. So yeah, I think that's the thing, like asking, like what you said exactly, like trying to get Will Smith to think about being in Chris Rock's shoes and how that must feel. Because at the end of the day, it's more than just being about the physical pain that Chris Rock feels. Like, forever being known as the guy that got slapped by Will Smith on live TV. That's something that will be in your Wikipedia entry as an individual forever. Not
that's why.
might be even more notorious than your stand-up shows and everything like that, or your movies you've done and all. So that is like, it has become an indelible part of your existence already, like for Chris Rock, is written into history as such. And so is there a lasting image you want your kids, your family, all that to see of you being slapped on stage by another person, right? And so there is more than just about a physical or just a momentary embarrassment for Chris Rock, a physical pain or momentary embarrassment for Chris Rock. So I think the fact that nobody talks about that, about how the lasting damage that would have on Chris Rock's psyche and reputation, all that. So the fact that Will Smith hasn't even touched any of that, it's just like just feels weird, yeah.